I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Rachel Zegler thought she was putting the haters to bed for good, but instead, she lit a match and watched her own career go up in smoke. In a now viral video shot from what looked like her bedroom, Rachel stared into the camera with a shaky mix of frustration and stubborn pride. She claimed that despite the online hate, fans were still showing up to support her. Her delivery flipped between teary vulnerability and sharp-edged sarcasm, trying to defend her choices and shut down the waves of negativity that had stalked the Snow White remake since day one. But instead of empathy, viewers saw a meltdown in real time.
The win, the winged victory, came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
She was clearly trying to take back control of the narrative, but social media? Oh, it had other plans. Within minutes, TikTok blew up. The clip was everywhere. Reaction videos flooded the app, some in disbelief, others turning it into full-on comedy content. Skits, mockery, duets. The internet didn't hold back, and Rachel? She had no idea what she just started.
Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Meanwhile, over on X, formerly Twitter, things went absolutely feral. Instead of the redemption arc Rachel was clearly reaching for, she just handed her critics the perfect meme material. Mine's Snow White budget $250 million box office $43 million.
Oh, but it's only been 2 days, give it a chance. No, I'm not gonna give it a chance. I'm not even talking about that now, because like all the flops are unsurprising at this point. Something is going on behind the scenes with almost every major animation, video game, and movie studio that they're doing this intentionally or something. I don't f***ing know. I'm not even gonna talk about this. People are like, oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch, and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood. And the bad guy is Gal Gadot.
And that was just the beginning. Titled The Snowflop Saga Online, what was meant to be a heartfelt defense was instantly called out as tone-deaf, self-important, and totally detached from the disaster playing out in real time. And let's be honest, this didn't shock anyone. People had been waiting for her to fumble the bag like this.
Alright guys, I watched Snow White, so you don't have to. Let's get into it. Now first things first, Snow White gets her name not from the fairness of her skin, as we obviously know. Rachel Zegler would be a miscast in that sense. Instead, she gets her name from surviving the snowstorm. Her father and mother are king and queen to a utopian communist society. I'm not joking, guys. Everybody shares and is mindful of what each person is getting, and we spread our resources evenly, which is where this idea of fairness, as Snow White is the fairest of them all, is really presented in the film.
Some folks even threw a digital party over it. Reddit threads, meme dumps, resurfaced interviews where she trashed the Prince storyline or said she didn't need saving. It all came flooding back like clockwork. Screenshots of bad reviews, old clips pulled out of context and sarcastic, "I'm a narcissist" edits were everywhere.
I'm a narcissist. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part. That people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I say, if I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
This was supposed to be her fairy tale comeback. Instead, it turned into a digital witch hunt, and Rachel Zegler was cast as the villain, not the evil queen. People dragged out those early interviews where she laughed off the original 1937 film, calling it weird and creepy. For fans who grew up on the classic, that hit a nerve.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
weird.
And it didn't stop there. She dismissed the whole idea of love and romance in the film, calling it outdated and cringy. But here's the problem. The backlash wasn't just about what she said. It translated to the box office. Snow White debuted with a painfully weak $45 million in the US, a jaw-dropper for a Disney live-action remake, especially one tied to their very first animated classic. When you line that up with The Little Mermaid, which opened at $95 million, even with its own controversies, it's no contest. Analysts didn't just raise eyebrows, they were shook. Some called it Disney's biggest misstep in a decade. Others straight up labeled it a total failure. And the consequences came fast. Theater chains yanked Snow White from premium screens, shoved it into bad time slots, and some just dropped it altogether by week 2. For Disney, that's unheard of. And for Rachel, it was a public nosedive. Not even Disney's billion-dollar PR machine could stop the bleeding once audiences started turning away. Then came the Oscars.
Please welcome Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effect.
What should have been a classy, red carpet moment turned awkward. Rachel showed up arm in arm with co-star Gal Gadot, but fans immediately picked up on the vibe. Chilly. No smiles. No chemistry. Gal looked like she wanted to be anywhere else. Online body language experts, gossip sites, and fans zeroed in. Gal barely looked at Rachel. She kept her distance. And behind the scenes, insiders later spilled the tea. Gal was done. She fulfilled her press duties, but she was quietly pulling away. Hard. Even worse. Gal walked away squeaky clean, still booking roles. Still doing red carpets. Still beloved. Meanwhile, Rachel was drowning in backlash, getting support from only her most loyal fans while the rest of Hollywood turned cold. What was meant to be a comeback moment turned into confirmation. Rachel wasn't bouncing back. She was the face of the Snow White failure. Her West Side Story glow-up? Gone. Her take on a modern princess? Slammed. Her confidence? Now read as smug. And her attempt to rewrite the narrative? Backfired hard. Her dream role didn't elevate her, it wrecked her. Rachel's viral spiral was the spark, but this fire had been smoldering for months. And when the box office collapsed, people wasted no time digging up every controversial quote and eyebrow-raising moment from the past year. Especially her now notorious take on the 1937 original. Clip after clip showed her smirking, rolling her eyes, mocking the romance, and saying her Snow White didn't need a prince, didn't dream of love, and wasn't going to sit around waiting. But instead of sounding empowering, it felt dismissive, disrespectful, like she was dragging a film millions of people still adored. And the backlash wasn't just internet trolls. Disney fans, the kind who spend real money, hit the parks, and show up opening weekend, felt betrayed. Parents said they didn't want to take their kids to a film starring someone who trashed the original. Even grandparents joined the drag sessions on TikTok, explaining how much the original meant to them as kids. Rachel didn't just rub people the wrong way. She alienated them. Even casual viewers started piling on. Not just about her comments, but her entire press tour attitude. Words like entitled, arrogant, and out of touch filled every comment section. And when the storm hit, Rachel stood completely alone. No public support from castmates. No directors defending her. No hang in there, queen, posts from fellow actresses. Just silence. And that silence, it was loud. Hollywood was already stepping back. And the consequences were real. Industry insiders whispered that her upcoming roles were being reevaluated. Marketing teams were asking the tough questions. Is she still bankable? Can she lead a campaign? Or will she tank it with drama and backlash? In Tinseltown, perception is power, and Rachel's once rising star was quickly fading. She was supposed to be the next Gen Z breakout. Spielberg's pick. Golden Globe winner. Future franchise queen. But Snow White stripped all that shine away. And it wasn't just the bad numbers. It was her reaction to it all. In a time where stars bounce back by owning their mistakes or charming the public back on their side, Rachel did neither. She doubled down, snapped back, stayed defiant, and with each move, she lost more ground. Now, people aren't just dragging her, they're calling her done. The Hollywood it girl, who was once Disney's next big hope, might have just written the blueprint for how not to handle the spotlight. Not because of one flop, but because of every choice she made after.